Sometimes people come to me when we work in group or in one-on-one sessions and they say, I feel stuck. And your invitation today is to consider, what if we could never be stuck? There's definitely times in my life where I felt stuck, many times. And I felt really stuck. And I felt stuck to the point of nobody can help me. Nothing's ever going to change. I don't know what to do. I don't know if this is ever going to get better. And sometimes even a point where I didn't even realize that I was in this space where I was the only way I could describe it is really like a deep, dark hole with only a shovel as a tool to continue digging me in deeper. And often when we're in that space, we don't even know it. And sometimes for me, it took somebody outside of me to say, are you okay? You don't seem like yourself. And what do we say when someone says, how are you? Fine, thanks. I'm fine, thanks. How are you? That deflection. And there's lots of pieces around that. And I can speak from my point of view and I can speak generally. I'm not here to tell you your experience. I would never do that. But what I noticed within myself and what I noticed collectively is that the answers are in the body. So what's happening is stress in the body, historically, how we're wired to move towards what feels good on a very primal level of our brain and away from what feels bad. And essentially, this is like a primal part of our brain that's kept us on the planet as humans. What's happened is generationally, we've noticed that unresolved stuff. So whether you want to call it trauma, I can't claim to work on your trauma, on individual trauma. I'm not a therapist. However, people bring in unresolved issues from early in life and stresses that we can work on the possible spiritual roots to those and how the unresolved emotional stuff in our body can get stuck and can create pain. And those of you in the human garage world know that pain can be interchanged as a word for like a restriction in the fascia and the flow. If we have a flow through the body, whether we're speaking of energy, currency, lymphatic fluid, blood flow, hydration in the fascia, if you have a flow through the body and there's a restriction, really is so simplified because our systems are so much more intelligent than just like a garden hose. But if you have a kink in the hose and there's a flow wanting to come through, then there's a pressure buildup where there's that restriction. And where there's that restriction and that pressure builds up, then that could be considered as pain. And that could be considered as stuck. And because we're wired to move away from what doesn't feel good, the sensation in the body that's coming up to show us, hey, there's something going on here that needs your attention. And if the brain, if the nervous system, if the body is overloaded, if the body didn't feel safe because boundaries weren't honored early in life, growing up, if the body was in pain, for whatever reason, if we reverted from feeling and being in our container, wholly, completely, and reverted up to here because it's like, I don't like it in here. Doesn't feel good. I'm going up here. I see that in most people walking around out there. Most people, most of us, and it's still a practice that I experience where I have to catch myself throughout the day. I get busy. Most of us spend our time up here thinking. And truly, I feel if we could think our way out of the issues that we're in, if we do have issues, then our world out there would be a completely different place. Wouldn't you agree? If we could think our way out of things. And so as human beings, dropping back into the being aspect of it, we're coming from the mind and the intellect down into the body, then we can take stock and inventory and say, what is not feeling good in my system? What doesn't feel good in my body? So a little bit of backstory here, how I got here. I grew up knowing the body could heal itself. My mom had a decade-long health illness. She couldn't even get out of bed. She was exhausted. This was in the formative years of my life. So my nervous system was developed in the first 10 years of feeling like people weren't there for me. She couldn't be there for herself. She was so sick and misdiagnosed and put on the allopathic road and had the strength and will within herself to explore other options. She said, in the 1980s, with no internet, we used to go to the library. I remember scrolling microfiche. That dates me a lot. And what would happen is she was put on a prescription. She'd take the prescription. And by the way, this is not medical advice. Absolutely. In no way am I giving you any advice on what you should do. I'm just sharing her experience. She was told she had an incurable disease. She was put on prescription drugs for the rest of her life is what she was told. And then the symptoms went away and she was able to function. And her brain, I don't know how, got to a point where it said, if this medication is making me feel better and I'm told that this is incurable, then it's masking the symptoms. It's just a Band-Aid. It's just covering it up. And she wanted to know what was going on underneath. She had the insight, she'd always been ahead of her time, to know if this is covering it up, I don't know what's going on under there. Things could actually get worse and I wouldn't even be able to feel it. I wouldn't even be able to know what's going on. So she spent 9.5 years searching for answers, found answers through diet and nutrition and removing white sugar, white flour, alcohol, things like that out of our home. We went completely vegetarian. She started cooking Ayurvedically. She found a naturopath, and within 3 weeks, the symptoms were reversing in her body. So she doesn't say she had a decade-long illness. She says it took her 9.5 years to find answers. And so I grew up with all that advantage. She's like, Andrea, never take the birth control pill. That's what set me on a spiral and messed up my gut health and changed everything for me. And I was like, okay, I got to dodge that bullet as a result of her knowledge. And then when I had my first birth experience, when I became a mother, I got to dive into unresolved emotional stuff, traumas from early in life or other generations, both. The compound effect of that all rolled into me becoming a new mother. I was stressed and overwhelmed. We couldn't conceive. I left my corporate job so that my body could heal, so it would feel safe to carry a child. And my worth disappeared because my worth was in my work and overworking. Because when I didn't feel good in my body, I pushed through. I didn't listen. I overworked. I kept going. And it's interesting because we've explored things like addiction and overworking, different things that what I've noticed we reach for. So whatever I would reach for, I'll just speak from my point of view. When things didn't feel good in the body, whatever I reached for to distract myself, to not feel it, became that crutch. And in our society, there's some crutches that are acceptable. Overworking, a lot of times people get applauded for putting in the extra work and all that stuff. I think we're seeing that shift now. We're seeing a shift into people needing more self-care, prioritizing rest, conversations that I certainly didn't see even 10 years ago. Over cleaning. Wow, her house is so clean. They never said that about me, by the way. But that's what some things that people would do. Other things could be smoking, drinking, drugs, food, shopping, relationships, pouring yourself into someone else. Whenever something didn't feel good, whatever I reached for, it was cigarettes for many years. Oh my gosh, feels like a lifetime ago. Then I put that down. And then it was alcohol because what the cigarette was suppressing started coming up and it was too much. So I picked up alcohol and then we decided to become parents. I had no other crutches and the flood opened. All of a sudden I had birth trauma. I had the avalanche of whatever had been rolling at me that I'd been holding back my whole life, and no sleep and holding this new person. And I'm like, how did they let me bring you home? He was born in the hospital. My second was born at home. Birth happened to me. Because the birth experience happened to me, it wasn't something I was participating in. I didn't feel prepared for motherhood. I didn't walk through that fire. I was like pushed and dragged through it. And I knew I had to do better. So I do think that if I hadn't gone through that experience, I wouldn't have had to search so deeply for answers, because this kind of work, and if you've been on here before, you know, is not easy. And the reason it doesn't feel easy is because it doesn't feel good to walk through. It's been my experience that the way through is through. People say the way out is through. I'm not looking for a way out or around or under or over. It's just through. Moving forward is through. And so it's my goal, it's my mission to offer people tools to shorten the length of time it takes to find answers. And there's a variety of ways I do that, and this is one of them. So I'm really glad you're here. This work starts from when you decide to be here. Did any of you have odd dreams last night or yesterday, last couple of days? Yeah. Maybe from when you decided, maybe from when you registered. Yeah, it's not me doing this work. I get to be the guide. I get to hold the mirror up for the reflection, for you to have this experience and for us to all have this experience together collectively. I'm not a healer and I'll never call myself one because I cannot possibly know what you need. That's between you and that which created everything that is, was, or ever will be. And the thing with this work is you don't even have to have a belief system in a higher power, because some people don't, in order to get help. In order to receive help from Ancestral Clearing, from this work that I do, the only requirement, I use that word loosely, but truly it's free will. Is wanting the help. I don't tell you what your word is for your higher power. I would never do that. Some people use the word God, creator, source of nature, whatever your belief is. And again, like I said, if someone has no belief in a higher power, that's okay too. But there is a source of creation, even science-based, completely science-based people can believe that. And that is the source of this work. And as we go through different aspects of the clearing, we'll do some group clearings here. with some intentions where you don't need to share what it is ever, what you're experiencing in order to receive the help. We'll do a group session next where you'll set an intention to release something, and then we'll open it up to work one-on-one. And those of you that have been on before, when you're invited to work one-on-one, if you're like, yes, I have something, I want to work directly with you, and I guide you through the process directly. When I'm helping one person, we're working with everyone. And the intention with the clearance is everyone who chooses to participate. Because sometimes we have people that are in that are like I was in the very, very first time I ever went and learned about ancestral clearing in the beginning. And I was like sitting in the back of the room. This was in person. And I was like, I don't know what this is, but I just kind of want to check it out. And that's okay. But then I dove in after I started feeling different. Okay. So I'm going to share a little bit as we go forward, but we're going to work intentionally here. We're working the entire time. It's so interesting. If you felt that buzzing and tingling and sensation moving through the body, sometimes you can even feel an intensity in pain. And it's probably the last time I'm going to use that P word, because we're going to train our brains to hear it in a different way. It doesn't deny what's there. It's just shifting the language. So if you're feeling more intensely right now, yes. If you're feeling like your heart is racing a little bit, yes. If you're feeling heat or shakiness through your body, yes, that is all part of this work too. As the nervous system, I feel like there's a part of us that exists in all time, not in the linear past, present, and future, and as we're moving through the dots, but there's a sense of the nervous system, the fascia, the field, whatever your word or understanding for that, is anticipating and preparing to let go of what you brought in today for this container. So here's your invitation. At any time, if I'm suggesting something, if I'm saying here's what we're going to do next, and if you feel like, no, that's not for me, great, free will. This is all your choice to participate. Do what you can handle. I don't push people. We work at the pace of the container that we have here, but y'all are pretty advanced too. So if it feels appropriate for you to do so, I'll invite you to close your eyes and notice sensation in the body, checking in with the body, just from this present moment. And noticing and putting your attention, is there something that doesn't feel good in the body right now? And there's multiple ways and multiple directions that we could come at with this. But the two-pronged way, essentially, is there something physical in the body that doesn't feel good that you'd like to release today? An example could be if somebody had chronic or acute pain. Okay, put your attention on that. If you're noticing a tightness, let's dive one layer deeper into what is that pain as a sensation in the body. Okay, I'm noticing a pressure in the right, this is just an example. Pressure in the right hip. It feels tight, it's twisting, feels hot, it's pulling down towards the knee. Great. You're giving attention to what doesn't feel good in the body. But if it doesn't start in the body, if it's an experience in your life or a stress in your life, many of you shared that in the chat here. Your invitation is to do what you can handle, but get a sense of when you consider that experience. So whatever category of life it's on, is it work? Is it relationships, family, abundance? I say abundance, but money. Sometimes that word triggers people. Is it spiritual connection? What is the category of life that you're noticing feels stressful for you? What is something that I feel like if not all of you, you know what it is. But in case you're still curious about which one to pick, for me, if I've worked with people that have, and I've done this too, where I've come with a list. I'm like, I got a list. Let's go. My preference is to pick the biggest piece. If you have 5 things and you're like, oh, I just want to get this all handled, pick one. Specific intention gets specific help. I go for the biggest one. If I scan the categories of my life, which one has the biggest charge for me in the body? Oh man, that guy at work. Ugh. Every time I think about Monday morning going in there, makes my stomach tight. My chest is tight. Feel heat rising up. Great. Once you have that experience that you feel that's stressful and you're noticing where you feel it in the body, or it's a physical sensation, chronic or acute, that you're noticing that sensation in the body, you know where it is. We're going to give it a number between 1 and 10. 1 is barely noticeable, 10 is off the charts. This is the most intense experience I've ever had. Ooh, maybe it's a 20. Give it a number between 1 and 10. And as you put attention on what doesn't feel good, you can put attention on the breath. You can be the witness of sensation in the body. You can be the witness of your thoughts, or you can do nothing. I'm going to offer this first round silently. Here we go. Your invitation is just to notice what you notice. Okay, checking back in, noticing sensation. Your invitation is to check back in with that original place in the body, bigger, smaller, or different sensation. Just check in. Notice the 0 to 10 of discomfort, pressure, tension, discomfort there. And if you wanted to, you can drop in the comments if you're noticing that sensation is bigger, smaller, or different. This is just round 1. You're welcome to write your before and after 1 to 10s. Be like, man, that was a 9 in the hip. I'm noticing it's a little bit smaller and it's going down to a 4 or a 3. Your invitation is to notice what's there. As you notice what's there and you notice the shift, we're inviting more space into the body. We're actually creating more space in the body, more flow. Are you creating it or restoring it? Restoring flow. 5 to a 2, 6 to a 3. Beautiful. Okay. Usually if it's a 2 or less, it can continue to dissipate on its own. Check back in. 7 to a 4, 3. Yes. Yeah. Even just acknowledging there's been a shift can sometimes expedite the shift even more. It's physics, right? What we put our attention on gets our attention. Many modalities and many teachers have shared on this. If pain is a way of getting our attention, then when we give the area in discomfort our full attention, does the pain need to be as loud? If the point of pain is to get our attention, we give that area our attention, can it dissipate? Then we bring in the forgiveness clearings, the forgiveness prayers. You can use prayers and clearings interchangeable. Some people are triggered by one word or the other. Use the word that works for you. When we bring that layer in and we offer the clearings, we ask humbly and gratefully for everything that led up to and resulted from. And we're asking Creator, Source, God, source of nature, whatever your word is for, that which created, that which wasn't created. We take a moment and just put our attention on that concept. That which wasn't created makes my head want to explode sometimes. I'm like, if you ever want to get to sleep at night and your mind's racing, start thinking about what wasn't created that created everything, because it doesn't fit in the mind. And the mind's like, yeah, I'm putting that down. And then we can bring that experience into the body and have that embodied experience there. Check back in, bigger, smaller, different. This is bigger in thoughts. Interesting. From 9 to 11 and physically from 2 to 5. Yeah. So sometimes bigger can be more expansive. My invitation for you all is to trust what you feel, not what you think you feel, because the mind will tell us things. And again, if we could think our way out of problems, out of pain, out of issues, the outside world would be a completely different experience. Wouldn't you agree? Like, there's a lot of overthinking going on out in the mainstream and the media and politics and medical and education and micromanaging and on the agricultural aspects of things. We're moving through. So check back in, notice what you notice. And if you can notice without judgment, that's cool. Like you're a reporter. Like you're the witness of sensation in your body, because the mind likes to jump in and go, oh my God, oh my God, oh my God. It's more, I'm not speaking for anyone here, but an example, it's more intense. Just notice as if you're noticing it for the first time. Oh, there's a tightness and presently it is this. Everyone have their number between 1 and 10? Anyone need help finding? Don't look for it. Anyone need help with something that is not a 4 or higher? Good. Okay. Feels appropriate for you to do so. Close your eyes and notice sensation in the body. This part's going to be out loud. And so we're speaking to and asking humbly and gratefully to Creator of everything that is, was, or ever will be. God, all that you truly are, not just what they said that you are, but all that you truly are. We humbly and gratefully ask, will you please help all of us here that are participating, all of our family members, relationships, ancestors, and all their relationships throughout all time, past, present, and future, for all hurts and wrongs, physical, mental, emotional, spiritual, sexual, and financial, through thought, word, or deed. Please help everyone involved to forgive and release each other, forgive and release themselves for the highest good, please and thank you. For all suicide, incest, murder, rape, abortion, infidelity, or miscarriage through thought, word, or deed, please help everyone involved to forgive and release each other, forgive and release themselves for the highest good, please and thank you. Please and thank you. Please and thank you. Times they abandoned or were abandoned, withheld love or had love withheld, weren't nurtured, loved, and supported. Times they didn't nurture, love, or support others. Please help them all to forgive, be forgiven, and all forgive themselves completely and totally. Please and thank you. Please, God, Creator, Source, for the highest good, lift out all weight, pain, burden, sin, death, debt, negativity, limitation of all kinds, spells, hexes, curses, white magic, black magic, real or perceived, just in case, of all kind. Transform it into your love and let your love flow back into all of you, all of them, all of us, filling and giving us all complete peace now and forever. Please and thank you. Please and thank you. Please and thank you for everything that led up to these specific pieces that we brought into this container today, everything that resulted from them, and any and all unhealthy conclusions that we may have made as a result of them, and a few pieces here that are silent. Please help all involved to forgive and release each other, forgive and release themselves for the highest good now, forever. Please and thank you. Please and thank you. Please and thank you. Okay, so when you're ready, your invitation is to open your eyes, take a breath in your own pace, let it go, and shift in your seat if you need to, shake it off, check in your body, notice what you feel. You're welcome to share in the comments If somebody wants to unmute, release tears. Yeah. If you are experiencing the release of tears of moisture coming out of the eyes, your invitation is to, this is the researcher in me. It's like the texture of the tears feels different. It's like it's a different substance. It's a different quality. My eyes leaked a little too. Yeah. Fear and sadness coming up. Yes. Energy flowing and tingling from my feet through my legs all the way up to my crown. Yes. As the old hurts on a cellular level are being released, the cells are like detoxing, and it'll come out through the pathways, and it can come out through breath, through the sinus passages, through the tears. And I notice with this work that literally like tears feel different when I release moisture through my eyes when I'm doing clearing work. It's fascinating to me because I'm thinking stress is like a physical, tangible thing. If you've ever walked into a room where someone's had an argument or people have been fighting and they're not in that room anymore, but have you noticed you can still feel it? Like the air feels thick. There's no empty space. There's no empty space. I still ponder that one. I'm like, there's no empty space. Everything is matter and energy and frequency and particles and waves and all the juicy quantum physics things. So if emotions are tangible in the physical world and can take up space in our bodies and create restrictions, then as we release them, as they're coming out, it's interesting. They have a different quality. In this work, especially if you notice that the sinuses are starting to cleanse and clear and have moisture coming out, you don't want to sniff that back in. You want to blow that out. So much of our society in general, just speaking in general, some cultures don't have this. And most Western cultures do. And it's like showing emotion can be historically perceived as weakness. How many of you heard don't cry when you're a kid? Even from well-meaning people. Don't cry. It's okay. Don't cry. I've done that a couple of times too. And I'm like, ooh, I hear those words coming out. I'm like, it's not okay right now, is it? And if you feel the pressure in your body, like a pressure cooker, like someone's clamped down on that for too long, when we release that lid, that heat and that moisture and that steam comes out in whatever way it needs to, in that release of pressure, we create more space in the body and more flow. And if we sniff that back in, the expression is we don't want that back in the tank. If we're becoming high performance machines and the body's detoxing all those old hurts, we want that out. Oh, but I got to clean up, and I don't want people to see that I'm not doing okay. I'm just that shame pattern. I did it. I'll go behind closed doors. Look at have a good ugly cry and let it all out. No one will see me doing it. No one's going to judge me. I don't need to make anyone else feel better. I don't need to worry about hurting anybody else by showing my emotions. And as I work through those pieces within myself and heal that cultural pattern and individual pattern and that guilt, fear, shame, and unworthiness pattern within myself, I feel more comfortable to show a full range of my experience to people. Yeah. Emotion, energy and motion. We're designed to have things moving through our body. We're never stuck. It just doesn't feel good. I guess we could be stuck if anything's possible in creation. If we can consider it, there's a version of reality where it exists, perhaps, maybe. In the training, when I learned Ancestral Clearing with John Newton, it helped beyond belief. Because anyone can learn how to do this work for yourselves, for your family, for your community, or if you want to offer this as a practitioner. He teaches people how to do that. He talks about you wouldn't have a keyboard on a piano and say, I'm denying these notes. These are the lower notes. We're not going to look at those. They don't exist to me. I'm never playing them. And then we're just going to stay up over here. It's like the full range of the human experience. And if you've ever gone through a period of time where you didn't feel that you had access to joy, like I did, for a very long time. I also didn't have access to despair. I didn't have access to sadness or pain, or it was just numb. So it's like this trade-off with the human experience. And we get to flow through what are we experiencing now? What are we experiencing now? Choose the next best thought. Choose a better feeling thought. That's closer. And so I turned my back on like affirmations completely for a very long time because I was like, they don't feel authentic to me. And I don't want to look in the mirror and tell myself that I love myself when I don't. I'm just lying to myself now. But I came to learn through this work that we can use these tools in the way that they were intended, because that was stuff that I carried too. I cleared some things up. And as I got to a place where I had more acceptance for myself and I learned the mechanics of how affirmations can be programming languages to ourselves. That was in my human garage training, programming language to ourselves. So as we speak, in the beginning, there was the word, okay? As we speak words and sound, it's heard, and the words are just the mouth noises for the frequency we're carrying, right? So the vibration of the words that I'm speaking, in whatever language that is, My cells are responding to that and acting accordingly. So I can feel, what doesn't feel good, and do the work on that. And this is what if. What if I can feel what doesn't feel good? I can presence through that. I can can ask humbly and gratefully for creation to help clear and resolve the hurts, the stuff that I'm carrying that isn't mine. This is for all of us. And while at the same time speaking what I desire. It's all different pieces of the same pie. Who's got a question? Who's got something they want to work on? When we work one-on-one, we help the collective. Historically, a lot has gone on this planet. Historically and globally and culturally and then individually in households, the injustice and the traumas and the heartbreak and the things that have gone on. And I showed this a lot, like people were dropping bombs. There still are to this day, dropping bombs on people. People were having bombs dropped on them and didn't have the space to be able to say, similar to how you shared, didn't have the space or the idea or concept to even sit and say, wow, what I'm experiencing is really stressful. I need to sit with this for a minute so I don't carry it forward for myself or anyone else. I need to really let this stress move through my body so I don't continue to carry it into the future. No, people were in survival mode and still are. I do feel like the understanding from the mind comes second to the release in the body. When the system has those patterns freed and those tension patterns are freed, and that statement when someone's in a heightened stressful experience, especially early in life when the nervous system is still developing, that statement is never usually, I can do anything. It's usually, what's wrong with them? What's wrong with me? I'm not safe. I'm not worthy. I can't do this. No one's here for me. These are the statements typically, and an infinite number of possibilities. I have no control. No one can help me. I can't do anything about this. Can become stuck in the nervous system as a unhealthy belief. Very true in the moment, but from one moment to the next could shift. It doesn't have to be a major trauma. It could be somebody dropping their ice cream. If somebody drops their ice cream at 3 on the ground, and the mind jumps in and goes, I can't have what I want. If that's not cleaned up in the moment, that can carry forward in the nervous system. We are so powerful. That word's overused and misused, but I feel we have divine right to be co-creating our reality. And if I carry something that says, I can't have nice things, this is why I can't get what I want, I'll never get what I want, whatever that statement is. And if that gets lodged in the nervous system, in the belief system, on a cellular level, in the field, in the fascia, life continues to mirror what I carry as I go forward. So now I'm going forward, seeing this movie out here that's a reflection of what's in the container. If you were driving down a road and there's a windshield in front of you in your car and it's got all this bugs and garbage all over it, you might start to think that the world looks pretty messy out there. But you clean the windshield and all of a sudden I can see the sunshine. I didn't even know it was blue sky. This is amazing. But if I carry that for that example, life will show me, here's why you can't have nice things. Here's why you can't have nice things. Here's why you can't have nice things. And then I start to feel like, I guess that's just my lot in life. I guess that's just how things are for me. When it's really just an ingredient in the container that once that's removed with help, please and thank you, then who we truly are underneath has more space to express our desire. And we get to experience life more, and I feel like how it was intended for us than all this stuff. Like, what if we weren't born with a clean slate? What if we were born with all the unresolved stuff of previous generations carried forward too? As the mind starts to have realizations, as we get these realizations of where things came from, your invitation is to not hold on to that too much. Because I like to understand things. I like to know how things work, why things work, where things came from, so I don't repeat my mistakes. But what has become more powerful for me is to do the work to clear and resolve and clean things up. And then the realizations can bubble up. Oh, yeah, that came from here. Interesting. And off it goes. Oh, this was from this? I can't believe it. And it bubbles up and off it goes. The thing with the mind is we are such powerful co-creators with free will, I believe, that if something's bubbling up and we grab onto it and we want to bring it back into our field and examine it and take it apart and dissect it and look at it, and then sometimes the mind has that slippery layer where it can bring in blame, judgment, guilt, different pieces. So it's something to observe. So how do I know if I'm doing that? I just check in with how I feel in the body. Constantly back in. Am I okay? How am I feeling? Okay, we're good. Oh, but this person did this and that. You mean I spent 20 years in pain because of this experience from this person, which didn't even start with them? It actually came from this person early in life. And now, how am I feeling? Where am I feeling it in the body? Putting my attention on what doesn't feel good, bringing my breath in, and then adding in the layers of the forgiveness prayer if we feel called to do that for ourselves. The body will tell us. The body doesn't lie. The body will tell us what we're carrying. I'm not saying the mind is lying. I'm saying that the mind can often have a distorted point of view. Okay. So we're going to move into our group clearings here as we close in the next few minutes. When we gather in community in an intentional container for the kind of work that we want, whether we're looking to help humanity or ourselves, it starts with ourselves. And it's like, but I want to go out there and I want to help all these people. And I see this is going on and I get it. I was there. But the more I go within and do my own work within, the more space I have where I can actually help and reach more people and help more people without it taking from me. When it was coming from me and I would work with people, it was my energy that was required to help someone else. I was doing the heavy lifting. And as I learn to invite people to have their own experience, take responsibility for their own healing journey, show up as a guide and set that intention in the beginning that I'm not, like I was saying to my kids, I'm not doing your homework for you. I'm not going to do your homework for you. Wouldn't do it for our kids. So I don't do it for people I work with. But I used to feel like I know I'm strong and I know they need help. So I used to think I could carry it for them. I did that for friends, for family members, for toxic people in my life, people who were showing up in a way that was showing me what I carried that didn't feel good, essentially. Over and over again, different face, different name, different country, same pattern until I got to a place where it was very much in my face. That is not my right to carry something for someone else, and it's not serving them. Because when we carry something and then release it, and many of you have experienced that today, releasing something. That's not me saying, here, I'll take that for you. That's offering that up. Forgiveness doesn't mean it's okay what happened. It's to forego, it's to offer up to that which created everything that is, was, or ever will be. And so if I am guiding somebody and the creation, God, source, that which created is doing the work, not only is it not take from me, I can't take anything on because I'm not doing the work. Now, do I feel? Oh, yeah. Do I feel what's going on? I feel what's going on within the container. I feel what's going on within individuals, physically in the body, different emotions coming up, but I don't hold on to it. That's been a practice of mine. It can come up, it can rise up, I can feel it move through me, and then it can move out. And I feel like that we all have access and ability for that. Nothing special about me. I just learned a set of skills and I do the work. However, if 2 days from now, I'm still triggered by something that happened, that's showing me what I carry within me, within my container. The pattern in me is a match for the pattern of what showed up. And it's a gift, but it doesn't feel good. And I'm like, okay, that's a spotlight on something I didn't know was still there. Thought I handled that ages ago. Didn't know that was there. But the beautiful thing about it is when we shine the light of awareness on what we don't want, when we have attention on what we don't want, or what doesn't feel good, or what's not showing up for us, or something that is showing up for us that's not preferred. When we have our attention on it, I know it's only a matter of time. It's those things that are in the blind spots and behind the scenes that I'm not aware of, that those are the ones that get me. And I'm like, let's see what, now I'm saying it out loud. Let's see what the blind spots are. Let's see. We're going to go a couple minutes over. We're at our time, but we're going to go a few minutes over because I want to do a final group clearing. And if you have to go, I respect that completely. And you'll be included in that group clearing. But if you want to stay, we're going to go a few minutes over. Pretty sure that happens every month. So once I have my attention on it, I know it's only a matter of time before it gets handled. Surrender. Yep. I hope that answers your question. I came in with a thought for what I needed, but I'm leaving with something different entirely. Things bubbled up that weren't even on my radar. Very eye-opening receiving this healing collectively. Thank you all. And thank you, Andrea, for facilitating. Yeah, and thank you for being here. You're all here and you're spending the time that you can't ever get back. Maybe. I don't know. I used to say it's the only thing you can spend and never get back. But now I'm like, who even knows? It's all just happening right now. Maybe. I don't know. So when we do this work for ourselves, or even coming here thinking we're doing this work to help someone else, when it starts with ourselves and then it radiates out, we're actually helping collectively, all of us. Surrender. I surrendered today. I didn't try to do it right. Yes, man, it's tough, right? Until it's not. Now there's a new pathway. Sometimes it's like hacking through a jungle with a pocket knife. It's like, don't know how to get through this. And then we upgrade our tools. Now we've got a machete. And then we're creating that new pathway of surrender, rinse, repeat. And I received an answer I've been waiting for 2 years and a half. Wow. It feels like the beginning of an inner peace, quiet and neutral, beautiful. I'm grateful. Beautiful. Okay. So in closing, we're going to do close your eyes. This is your invitation. Close your eyes, notice sensation in the body. So closing your eyes and going within. I don't think too many options is good. So let's narrow it down because specific gets specific help. Your invitation is to consider what you thought you were coming here for. If that still has a charge in the body, where do you notice it? Get your 1 to 10 level of discomfort. If you feel more neutral, if you came here with a specific piece that you wanted to get handled and you feel more neutral about that, pick something else. And if nothing comes to mind, you don't have to search for something. If nothing is showing up in the body as far as pressure, tension, discomfort, then you can get a sense of vision casting forward into your life. What is something that you would like to show up in your life that maybe hasn't presented itself yet? But when you consider that it hasn't presented itself yet, check in with the body and notice where is the pressure, tension, discomfort. Get your number between 1 and 10. And another option is to do nothing and just notice the breath. Notice the stillness and see if you notice a space between thoughts, a gap between thoughts. And as you put your attention on the gap between thoughts, see if you notice if that gap gets a little longer in between the next thought. And when you're ready, you can take a slow breath in your own time, in your own pace. You can shift in your seat and shrug the shoulders, shake the wrists a little bit, move your neck, check back into your body. Notice how it feels. Thank you for being on today. Thank you for taking the time to spend with us to release what no longer serves. And we can move forward a little bit more free, a little bit more space to create and experience and express what we came here for. Thank you so much.